me to talk? Huh? Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. This is the fourth and final in the October series with Open Circle. We've gotten a lot of feedback over the month about the power and intensity of the RASA, the Group RASA. We're very thrilled and delighted by that because that's why we're here, is to give RASA. So the Group RASA is powerful. The one-on-one RASA that we give individually and together, where you can find us on Ramaji.org, is the premium way to get RASA, but this group thing's really working. So we're really happy about that. And we want to give full credit to all of you. This is kind of an experiment. We started doing the online Group RASA events, Satsangs, in January of this year. And what we have found is that there is a group synergy, a group consciousness field, something happening with the group that enables the RASA to impact all of the people, even if the number is greater. So there's something you all are doing that enables that to happen. So we really appreciate that. So it's your full participation that supports this Group RASA and makes it effective. And we have definitely had people through the Group RASA who have awakened, no question of that. So, you know, it's real and you know, that's why we're doing it. So the RASA is the main thing, but of course we need to talk a little bit, and we're gonna be asking for questions and answers. Now, I had something pop up for me earlier this week, which I think is, I just feel excited about sharing this as a clarification. It's a very simple thing. It could be elaborated in a big way, but I'm going to keep it really simple, okay? And it's about this, you know, this whole seeking thing, but a different take, a different angle on it, on why it doesn't work or what it's really about. Basically, people are working on their personality self. Okay, their seekers are working on their personality because they were taught to improve themselves. Religion is what leads to spirituality and non-duality and oneness with God, but religion is about being a good person. The 10 Commandments and all that, all the religions are about that. And they're preparation and training for awakening. And in awakening, you know, following this model, it's assumed that the person is highly ethical and moral. And so that's not an issue anymore. In other words, their personality is purified enough that it's not an issue anymore because they've been religious, because they've followed those rules. They've learned how to do that. So non-duality transcends morality, but only because there's the assumption that the person has worked on their personality. So when you get into non-duality and you're wanting to awaken, the focus of attention for your work goes from personality to being or essence. So people are so used to thinking they must improve themselves. They must add something, subtract something, or transcend something in their personality. But that's endless. That's not what we're talking about. That's the temptation. That's what people think this is about. I'm going to change myself. No, that means you're going to change your personality. Changing your personality is
So Ramaji frozen. Is he frozen for other folks? Yeah.
is
okay.
recognizing the here and now. Yes.
Sorry, your connection had froze for a minute there, so we missed a chunk.
Oh, okay.
It's just a brief moment there.
Oh, okay. I don't know which chunk got missed.
It was right after you're working on your personality, and that's not going to work.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Gary G. Yeah. So religion is working on personality. Spirituality and non-duality is returning to essence self. So we've been taught through religion to improve ourselves, to change ourselves, to add something, remove something, or transcend something. Something is wrong with us, and we have to fix it. That's all personality level. And seekers unconsciously assume that is the nature of the work they're supposed to do in non-duality to awaken. That is not correct. You should have done that work, quote unquote, should have done that work in religion. Now you're engaged in pure spirituality. Personality is not the issue anymore. So what is the focus? The focus is the essence self, which you had as a baby and as a little child. What is the nature of this essence self? It is neutral. It is this awareness. So in other words, it's not about changing anything, but it's about being that which is here already with everything, whatever it is that arises. It is your identity. It's not just awareness as some kind of, universal, impersonal baseline. It is your individual self, just like you knew you existed as a baby and as a little child before you took on the separate entity doer idea. So, I want you to check, think about this. Is my sadhana, my seeking, is it about improving me, changing me, adding, subtracting, or transcending something in my personality process? What if it wasn't about any of that? You see? So that if you free your attention to simply stop and be, then you can uncover your essence self, which is pure beingness, pure awareness. Not something out there, something that's here right now, that's been here all the time and has been providing the support and the space for everything that comes and goes, that happens, that you think of as your personality process, your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions, including your body sensations, your sense perceptions. Okay, everything you think of as your conscious self. But what's the support for that? What's been there all along? So anyway, I thought this was useful. I actually don't know if it is or not, but I was struck by it, just because the fundamental distinction between improving or changing or fixing personality stuff versus relaxing back into your sense of presence or beingness, not busy fixing or improving anything, but everything, it is what it is. Personality is fine, whatever it is, unless, of course, you're, as they say, an axe murderer, and we're not endorsing that. We're not endorsing unethical behavior. We're assuming you're moral and ethical already. So then you don't have to work on your personality anymore. So if you're not working on your personality, what are you working on? What's here right now, dropping back into that and not really being concerned about personality anymore. It's a machine. It's on automatic. It's just going to run. It's going to run itself. That's what you realize when you wake up. The personality is going to run itself. It's totally on autopilot. The personality is being performed by the universe, by God, by nature. You are this essence self, which is this pure awareness, but it's not just awareness. It's pure beingness. It's peace, love, happiness, joy, kindness, fulfillment, and all those good things. Those are the characteristics of this pure beingness, this essence self. Did you want to say something about anything?
No.
Not right now? Okay. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. That's the preamble. I can talk forever, but I don't want to.
Maybe I'll say one thing.
Yes, please do.
I was thinking about something. I think.
Look out. Thoughts ahead. Look out.
Something occurred to me. suddenly something occurred to me. You know, you guys, and I mean, we all, I was a seeker for 20 odd years, and Ramaji was a seeker for God knows however many. I mean, he's a little older than me.
A couple of centuries.
Mm-hmm. And many of us have been at this game for a while. And I often wonder, other than getting and giving, getting the rasa and receiving it, and thank God we have that tool, the technology, because there's no way Ramaji and I would be sitting here and speaking. I would sooner stick needles in my eyes than have to do that. Satsangs are just boring. So what I want to say is I wonder what it is that suddenly creates the fact that you guys are able to hear and hear what is being said. You're always listening. You're sitting in front of us and each of you is listening. The same words that you've heard from many teachers over and over and over again. But then something shifts and it's almost like the slightest little thing, a little word, a quote, and suddenly, bam, you get it. Just like that. It's nothing new. It's nothing we've said that's new. I mean, the sages have said it. Jesus said it. Buddha said it. We're just repeating the same shit over and over again. So what I'm saying is drop it. Drop your concepts. Drop your notions, your ideas, the past. Drop it and listen. Hear. Because it's right here. And that's all I have to say. I wonder how that works, don't you?
I think it's the person reaches an inner availability. I think maybe they just get burned out.
I think your mind just gives up eventually.
I think, yeah.
And whatever's left is this.
It's already here. So basically it's a matter of being distracted. You know, people are distracted by their thoughts and beliefs and concepts. They're not in the moment. Yeah.
The last thing we want you guys to do is to leave any of these settings where Ramaji and I are sitting here before you and saying whatever we say. And think about it. Please don't think about anything we're saying. Drop it immediately. You're here to get the rasa. That is it. Drop the words. Please drop the words.
Yeah, listen to her about dropping the words.
Yeah.
Yes. In other words, there's listening and then there's thinking. Listening happens in the moment. It happens now. So if you're going to listen, now is the time to listen. Right this second. You see, as soon as that's gone, it's gone. You know? I mean, the recording is good because it's got the rasa on it.
Yeah, fast forward the words. Go straight to the rasa.
Go straight to the rasa at the end. You know, you're going to have the recording. Go to the rasa at the end. Use it as part of your meditation for 20 minutes. Have that thing going while you meditate. Get the benefit of the rasa for the rest of your life. You know? But, you know, what do we say? You know, we cannot improve on Rumi, you know, and Bankai and, you know, Ramana and Nisargadatta. We can't improve on them. We can't even come close. So what are we doing? We're saying, you know, just don't listen to your own shit. Stop listening to that noise factory. Realize the mind is always about past and future. It's always about something else than right here. You know, which is, you know, basically the personality. Stop listening to it. It really doesn't have anything for you. It's on automatic. Anytime you look, go ahead and look. Think about, you know, something you just did today, this morning, you know, or this evening, wherever you are. Now, when you did that, just go right back. Just go just previous to that moment. Right up to that moment. And then when that moment happens, when you said that thing, did that thing, decided that thing, in the you could not. So the mind is creating a theory about how there's a past and a future and there's the doer that gives the continuity to all of this. There's no doer and there's no continuity. Everything happens like this. Comes and it goes and it's gone. The continuity is the awareness itself, like the sky. The clouds come and go, the lightning comes and goes, the storms come and go, the tornadoes come and go. Sky remains. Personality and thoughts and all of that, that's the weather. Always changing. So how are you going to notice the sky? You can't, you have to relax, understand it's here now, meaning right now. You are here now, right now. What you're seeking is here, right now.
You are awake right now.
This is it. Believe it or not, this is it. You know, and whatever you do or whatever we do or say or anything, this is it. You see, people have preconceived notions about what an awakened person is supposed to be like, what they're supposed to be like. There's nothing to fix. You're perfect as you are. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, anybody that wants to, just take a moment. I'm perfect as I am. Absolutely 100% perfect, exactly as I am right now. So just go to enter into that, relax into that. I'm perfect as I am. Wonderfully perfect. Flaws and all, perfect. Now, being perfect as I am, nothing to fix. Flaws and all, I'm perfect, totally perfect. Now, relaxing into that, what's left? What's left is awareness. What's left is being. And being sees the perfection. Being knows the perfection. See, the movement is due to the belief there's something wrong. So there's movement to improve and change. You know, the mind, the seeking, improve, change. There's something wrong. But what's fundamentally wrong? That the entity is separate. You're separate from God, from source. That's the problem, you know? But you're not really. You just think you are in your mind. So let's say there's not even anything wrong with, you know, being a separate entity doer, you know, being the separate self or something like that, or the little self, the little me. Let's say there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, nothing wrong with that either. That's perfect too. It's all perfect. So what happens to your seeking then? You see? So awakening means the end of seeking. Really, the end of seeking is awakening. Do you understand? It's not awakening as this, you know, climbing Mount Olympus thing. It's that the end of seeking is the awakening. The end of the looking for something else. The end of the craving, the need that it be something else than this moment. That is the awakening. So if you're perfect, and even being separate is perfect, and even with your flaws and whatever your humanness is, it's all perfect, then your seeking's over.
Even with your mind trips, you're perfect. That's okay.
All of it's perfect.
Just the way it is.
Exactly as it is. You're awesome exactly as you are right now. Right now. One of the missing pieces in all this non-duality stuff is, guess what? It really helps a lot to fully love and approve of yourself exactly as you are. You know, actually approve 100% of yourself exactly as you are right now. Approve, not just love and like. Approve. Stamp of approval. Awesome. I am awesome. You know, I just screwed up on my this or that. Awesome. I'm awesome. See?
Even, I mean, when you don't feel awesome, that's also awesome.
That's
that you don't
awesome.
feel to be awesome?
Yay!
You
I feel like
today's a shitty day. Cool.
yay! You know why? Why? See, why is that awesome? How can it be awesome? See, the mind goes, that's not awesome. I have to fix that. I'm depressed. I'm this, I'm that. I need to fix some. Mind is always going after the pleasure. But the mind is not as smart as it thinks it is. So in the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain, you get a vicious cycle, which is called not being yourself. So we're not saying you should wallow in pain, but what we're saying is when you're in a bad mood, there's only positive, negative, and neutral. That's all there is.
Allow.
Yeah, positive, negative, and neutral. Positive and neutral are fine. So what's left? Negative. As a problem. Is it a problem? No, it's going to turn into negative or positive again. You don't have to control it, and in fact, you can't. You can't change anything because it's only here that long, and by the time you're here to change it, it's something new. So you got to be on it, like that, on it, now. So yeah, so you're feeling crappy, you're depressed, you're this, that, or other negative thing. What if you went up to that poor negative thing that is just so unhappy and, sad, and you gave it a big hug? Oh, you poor little shitty part of myself. Guess what? I love you. And I'm going to give you a big hug. And I'm not going to let you go because you're a rogue part of myself that is clueless and lost. And I want you home again. And I want you to be a part of my family. But who does that, you see? Can you do that?
Yes, they can.
Well, I'm saying, isn't that awesome? So what's really going on? Is there a problem with the negative part, the pain, the depression, the whatever, the anger, the irritation? No. The problem is the withdrawal of your energy from that part, from that arising. That's the only problem that's going on, is your choice to not love it, your choice to not be with it. That's the only problem. It's not a problem. So when you, and so our general advice is move towards it. The problem is because you've pulled away. You've moved away from it, and you create an artificial distance from your uncomfortable experience, and the mind thinks, oh, I'm safe now. But the problem is that distance then disconnects you from it. And it's very difficult then to work with it and come back to the here and now.
Spirituality is not about an experience. That's what you guys use as an excuse to avoid the pain. I'm going to become more spiritual, blissful. Doesn't work that way.
This is the bliss.
The bliss is accepting everything just the way it is.
Dog shit on the sidewalk is the bliss. If you can see that as the bliss, you're in bliss.
As long as this is a way to escape what is, you miss the mark. You're missing it.
All there is what is. Anyway, I really like that thing of moving towards stuff. So I'm trying. Anything in life. Could be an external thing. Could be
with it. Does anyone, should we ask if anybody?
Yeah, I'm ready for
if
questions.
They want
I'm getting tired of listening to myself.
I actually, I felt like lightening it up a bit. So if nobody.
Ananda, we can't hear you. I don't know if you guys can hear me. You guys are frozen again.
Dominique? Yes, unstable.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, if you see that, we might, if it continues to freeze, we might have to turn your video off just for a minute, just to.
Okay. Thanks, Kate.
Yeah.
I was hoping that Dominique would say something and lighten up the vibe. Dominique, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I have absolutely no idea what to say other than I am deeply touched that you remembered my, as Gary G put it, my dog shit Satori. That little like comment about the when there was the pure conscious experience. But I guess really it's kind of like what you were saying today, but instead of looking inward towards the problem in here, it was an example of looking outward towards the perceived problem out there. Like, I mean, if we don't start from the point of view of this is disgusting, this is awful, you just look and it's like the colors, there's like, I mean, what's going on? It's like there's beauty in like every perception, that there really isn't anything missing except what we impute as being missing. But no, once again, total failure. I couldn't think of anything funny to say whatsoever. So I guess I'm listening because I'm okay with failing.
Well, Dominic, I'm going to let you take over so that you and Ananda know.
Yeah,
I'll be out of here.
Yeah.
It's been great, really has.
Yeah, Dominique, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. That's a lesson all on its own. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Let's hear some questions or comments, whatever you guys want to say. Listen, this is our last one.
This is the last one.
We want to have some fun. It's not all serious.
So
it's
free for
just
all.
really about being yourself. Say whatever comes to mind. We're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. There is an old booklet that's called The Impersonal Self. You probably know it, which also states that, the person is kind of like an illusion. It's not who we really are. And that the only thing that really is, of course, is the cause of this whole experience. You can call it God or the source, whatever. And that is our real identity, right? Okay. So, for example, if there are thoughts, then ultimately it's that what we call God that is having those thoughts, because it's experiencing all this. It's creating all this, and it's also experiencing all this. And thoughts do have an influence. For example, if a thought would come up, I don't want to go to those meetings for Rasa, who needs it and all that, then they will do it. Then they won't do it, right? So it's important. So when the thought is there, no, it'll probably, be good. Let's do it. Then you'll do it. So it's not totally unimportant, what you think. Besides, of course, all the negative thoughts that you can have, it can really put you down. So anyway, what is, just to make it short now, what is advised in the impersonal life is that to focus again your attention and quieten all this crazy stuff that might be going on in your mind and in your emotions, and to just focus again is to say now and then to yourself, to your mind, to your body, be still and know I'm God.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Just stay with that. Just
Really great. Thank you very much.
Can I move on to Gary G for
Be
a few
still,
words?
I am God. Also be busy and I am God. Also be screwed up and I am God. Also be angry and I am God. Also be everything and I am God. Okay, let's move on.
Beautiful. Gary G, let's hear what you have to say.
Well,
Thanks,
I realized
that was great. Thank you.
Wait, are you cutting me off already? I realize now that I have only one real aspiration in life, and that is to be the opening act of the Dominic show. I just want to come out All I want to do is come out and warm up the audience for Dominic, because I want to give Dominic his due. As much as I appreciate Ananda, Devi, and Ramaji, and I hold them in very high esteem. Dominic is also my Dominic is also my teacher, because Dominic was the one who taught me that even dog shit is Brahman. Now, because Dominic, for those who don't know, had this, satori, this great awakening when he went out one day and he looked down and he saw the dog poo on the ground, and he realized that it was beautiful and it was just as divine as the trees and the flowers. And now, and I walk my dogs all the time. In fact, they were running around. So whenever I go out and I see, dog poo on the ground, I say, this too is Brahman, and I recall this. So Dominic, you're my teacher too. Dominic is, doesn't get any better than Dominic. I'm sorry.
Oh God, I'm telling you, if the two of you get together and just do skits.
You've got to get together.
You have to do it.
You have to.
You have to do it. It'll be like bestsellers.
And you'll be giving rasa, Garaji, pretty soon.
We're gonna call ourselves the non-dual duo, right, Dominic?
Blow it up, guys.
You'll be rocking it.
Blow it up.
You will be rocking it.
Thank
you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary G. Anybody else? Kate, you can tell us whoever has questions.
Yeah. This is open season, folks.
Yeah, Paul Kraft has his hand raised. Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey.
Hi, Paul. Nice to
just wanted to. Yeah, cool. Just to pass a comment on something. My youngest is 4 years old, and I was talking to her about the single consciousness and unity and metaphysics. And
hold on a sec, Paul, just so this can pass. Thank you. It was the garbage truck. That's also Brahma.
Yeah, I was carrying a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay, so
start over, Paul. Please start over.
Right.
Your 4-year-old son.
Yeah, I'm talking to my 4-year-old, and we're talking about metaphysics, and she says, "Well, everything is everything. I'm everything, and I'm God." And I said, "Yeah, that's it, darling. You've got it." Day later, her sister, who's 7, says to her, "Alba, could you pass me a pen?" And she ignored her. Can you pass me a pen? And she ignored her. She's like, "Why are you ignoring me?" "Well," she said, "you are me, I am you. If you want the pen, get it yourself." It's really you doing it anyway, she says, whether I do it or you. Really you doing it.
Isn't that brilliant?
4 years old.
4 years old. You know, Paul, can I tell you something funny? I was saying this to Ramaji the other day. My teenagers are 15 now. I've got triplets. And the amount that comes out of them naturally, I've never had a discussion with them about awakening at all, only because I'm waiting for them to display an interest. I don't want to push a process. So they're just not that interested. They're typical teenagers. But every now and then kids have an insight that is just, I mean, they get it. They just get it, And I don't know if it's maybe our generation that is more clueless than theirs, or consciousness is expanding with each new generation.
It's that.
But that's truly what I believe. I mean, that's fascinating, fabulous. And fabulous that you talk to them about it as well.
Oh, yeah. My 25-year-old son, a little while ago, I said, there's a really good video on Kundalini. This guy covers it, and really good, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah. In fact, no, I was talking to his older brother about it, and he didn't hear me, only in a metaphysical sense, because that night he decides to search for something on YouTube, finds the very video, and he's watching it. He's like, wow, that's amazing. Turns it off, listens to a Kundalini awakening on YouTube, and has a Kundalini awakening.
Wow.
Like this. So he's given up his job. He's come to live with me.
Wow.
And daily he's going, and he's just hitting things. And I'm trained as a hypnotherapist, and I've done some coaching. I mean, I'm not working now. It's about this, being all right with this. So it's me and looking after the girls. But he sat there, and I say, do you want to do something? Yeah, sure. And I'll say, right, okay. So I guide him somewhere and tell him to come into the heart, and he'll go, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's going, I was living, I was experiencing, everything was from the heart, everything was from the heart, everything. It's like he moves through these states, through gears, like I've never seen. And he's 25. The two youngest at 7 and 4 are moving through these gears on their own, Like, it's unbelievable. 7-year-old heard something the other day. Well, such and such was going to such and they were going there, and she says, that's rubbish. You can't go anywhere. There's no separation.
Can they come host our satsang?
You know,
Yeah, the 4-year-old and the 7-year-old.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway, I won't take up any more time. It's been beautiful, these 4 trips. So yeah.
Thank you.
I find it fascinating as well. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You should invite them to sit in on the rasa if you want any point.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah. We've had children go to 1,000 with the rasa. The rasa appears to be, completely safe. I guess from a parent point of view, it's safe.
Yeah.
If they're interested, don't
yeah.
push
Obviously, if they're
there has to be desire.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, they are pretty, particularly the 7-year-old. She would bite my hand off to come and sit in and stuff like this. She absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
So.
Any other questions? Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. Awesome.
Let's move back and see.
It is.
Oh, let me move forward. Ah, there you go. Okay, let me call on Jen. Haha. I know he doesn't want me to call on him. Come on, Jen, it's you. Don't look around. Hey, dude.
You have a question for me?
Yeah, I want to know what's going on. What's your experience been the last week or two? I haven't spoken to you.
Yeah, it's been, feels like a progression forward. As far as, actually, I have a question about, for Ramaji, about the coaching sessions. Can you kind of just explain what that entails and what
you don't need one.
Okay.
Jen, just work with Ananda, because I'll say what the coaching sessions are. They're basically for people who are going through major Kundalini stuff or have health issues, things that are outside of the standard non-duality awakening session. So they're 3 hours long because like earlier this week I worked with somebody who had chronic pain, and we just drilled down into it. It took hours to do that. So if you have some chronic thing in your life like that, I've been doing this kind of work since I was 16 years old. So basically I have 50 years of experience working with people with Kundalini and working with people with various kind of physical and psychological issues. So it's really a totally separate type of thing. And I call it coaching, but it's really, like a lot of people have Kundalini stuff. They don't know where to go. Well, I mean, they can come to me. I can see the Kundalini, see where it's stuck at. Things like that. But it's very specialized. Otherwise, all you need is just a standard session with Ananda or myself.
You are good, Jen. You don't need stats.
Yeah. Stop thinking.
Yes,
just
that's your head doing another trip.
Just right here. Just take the imaginary saw, chop that off, and you'll be good. Although you're a good-looking guy, so I don't mean it like that. But just and you're good.
Yep.
No head, no thinking, no problem. Thanks for the question, though. It's good to mention that because most people might not know about that.
Can I ask?
Well, I want to.
Carnig.
Oh, you want to call on Carnig? Okay.
Yeah, he wants to talk.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's hi.
Hey, Carnig.
Hey. So I figured it out. I drove from Iowa to California, and since it's on the internet, I'm watching it in a bedroom up here in the hills of, actually north of Santa Rosa, where the fire devastation took place. So very interesting. Anyway, so on to that question. I have a daughter that has fibromyalgia, and she is a meditator. She's overwhelmed with information, you might say, that she keeps trying to find to heal herself, and she's got a good positive attitude. So this coaching quote thing that you just talked about, Ramaji, has me very interested in she hasn't done any of the rasas with you or anything, but would that be something that, you know, if I gave her your information, she could contact you, that you might, because, you know, I think she's extremely spiritual. She's got great insight. In fact, she's my counselor sometimes, you know, and I love her dearly. And,
well, you're talking about the fibromyalgia though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And here's the deal. I mean, you know, I used to be a professional medical intuitive and all that stuff, you know, basically back in the 1990s. So I did these kinds of things before I became a spiritual teacher. And as I said, I actually started when I was 16. When I was 16 years old, I had a couple come to me with their daughter. Her head was shaved and I didn't even know what that meant. Turns out she had cancer. They just asked me to look in a certain place and I described what I saw. So that was the beginning of my experience as a medical intuitive. The thing is, when you got something chronic like fibromyalgia, maybe I can help, maybe not. I have an approach that often helps, but can I guarantee it? I can't. I think it'll be helpful, but you know, fibromyalgia is one of these things that it's almost like the person's made a decision to feel that way. And they're really going to have to come to terms with why they made that decision and make a new one. So I could even give them a completely accurate insight, or they could have a completely accurate insight into why they have that. Okay? Because it is real in the sense that it's an experience, but it's not real in the sense that, you know, you caught a bug in the Congo. I mean, so I can help, but there's still the sense of, and you can think about it. What does she want? What is she, you know, what's
well,
going
I know
on?
that, I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I absolutely 100% know what you're saying. And
right. Yes,
I agree with what you said, because I think that there's a mental construct, so to speak, that's continuing, quote, these symptoms, what caused what, in a sense, or what, you know, and in her case, she's not involved. She's a spiritual person. I think you know, she's pretty high. And the fact is, she's in a situation where it's being suppressed. And I think basically she needs to get out of that situation on a mental level or whatever, so that there can be the release. You know what I'm saying? It's manifesting as this illness.
Well, Carney, you know, let's just leave it that. Why don't you think about it?
Yeah.
And you make a decision
no
and
why don't you run it by her?
Yeah.
Have a discussion with her. Talk to her a little bit about what we do, because where we are good is eliminating the mind stuff, making her see what's real and what is just made up.
Right. And that's the part. I mean,
that's where we can really help, because we can laser in on that belief system.
And the rasa does have a side effect with some people of a healing of some kind, but that's not the focus. The focus is awakening. But every now and then somebody does, you know. But we don't want to. We don't want
it to be a healing.
Yeah, we don't want to make that.
We're not healers.
The point. So there's no.
I recognize just what you're saying, and I agree with you. It's more like, well, you know, if you have the quote spiritual awakening, or that the rasa brings about, I feel that then, quote, the other side of it automatically starts taking place. I mean, personally, I'm walking without a cane. I'm not having pain. I have a hip issue sometimes, and there's good stuff happening for me on a lot of levels, and I feel that's a result of the rasa. But it's also manifesting through the physiology. You know, it's becoming more harmonious is the word, I guess, that I would say. Well, I won't take any more time. Thank you.
Thanks, Carney. Thank you.
Carney. Very good.
You know, and obviously we wish her well and blessings only.
Yeah.
I know.
You know?
And, you know, anytime you get rasa, if she's there with you, you can have her come sit with you. You know, anytime one of us is giving you rasa, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay for your family member to join you. You know?
In fact, I'll even zoom her in, you know, if necessary.
Yeah.
I'll set something up. That would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Any other questions?
Karnik.
Thanks, Karnik. Anybody else for questions? Else I'm going to call on you.
No, let's just wait and see if somebody's got a question.
Okay.
I have a question, or curiosity. Hi. Since we're talking about it, because I know you've been talking about, it's Kate.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Yes. I'm just going to find you on the screen. Yes. Okay.
We've been talking about concepts and thoughts and beliefs, and so I'm just curious about, you kind of were getting to it, but when the thoughts and the beliefs fade away, or, you know, what's the experience or about being with the real subconscious that are under the thoughts, that are perhaps even in the body? Like, that's a belief, like with fibromyalgia, that there's things in the body that are, you know, that are not beliefs, that are not, how to be with those, or where do they fit in the awakening process?
I think that it all fits into the awakening process. There is nothing that goes on in anybody's experience that isn't a part of the awakening process. In fact, sometimes it's through the pain and it's through the suffering that actually you awaken quicker, because the recognition that you're not the pain or the suffering, and that just comes to surface in such a way that it's unmistakable. But at the same time, we can't take away from the fact that there is the pain and there is the suffering. So I guess working with one's belief systems about, if you were to ask me, and I think you may agree with me, where does it begin? Where does it start from? What is our self-negative talk? You know, subconsciously, we are often doing things that we don't even know we're doing. And that's what has to come up. And I mean, sometimes Ramaji and I can talk to a student for, up to a month. A month will pass. And then suddenly the real stuff starts coming up. It's almost like they didn't want to see it. They didn't want to see it. And then bam. And that's when the release starts coming up. So it really is looking deeply, Kate, to help it become uncovered. And we all have that. Mm-hmm. It just manifests for some people as dis-ease, disease, pain, and for others as depression. In some way, shape, or form, we all, kind of have our cross to bear. But it is part of awakening. It all is. Suffering is not bad. Suffering can be also very positive. Very positive. I think.
In terms of health issues, some are indeed genetic or environmental. Okay, in which case we really wouldn't need to go into the thought emotion complex that's behind it. But in the case of, say, fibromyalgia, in my working with people, I have found that there is a before and an after. So they weren't born with it. Mm-hmm. So there's been stress on the immune system, and then there's a collapse, and it's all quite logical when you see that the person is making a decision about how they want to live. So in a certain way, I would never, though, say it's stuck in the body. Ultimately, to me, there is no subconscious. There is no everything. You could say, because everything is literally spontaneous. So basically, the person is making decisions, trying to control their experience. And they're just doing it through their body rather than through thoughts and emotions. There, as you pointed out, I think accurately, there's a burying of thoughts and emotions, negative thoughts and emotions. Same thing with cancer. They've done a lot of research, and they found in many cases when somebody gets cancer, 7 years prior to their getting cancer, they sustained a severe loss in their life. Somebody died or some other thing, and they never properly grieved that loss. And it appears as this negative energy or dark energy that, has built up in their system. And, you know, from an esoteric or subtle body or energy body point of view, yes, you can say they're in the body. I've done plenty of work in this area. So yeah, you see it, but it's in the subtle body. It's not actually in the physical body. What's going on is the subtle body or astral body is impacting the physical. So if you deal with it at the thought emotion level, then it can be eliminated. But the thing is, the person has actually made a choice to make thought emotion unconscious, buried it in their body, as you pointed out. So they're going to have to make a new decision to welcome that information, that energetic information, back into conscious awareness. And that will be their healing. So I don't know, I hope this is making sense. It's a very challenging and confusing area.
Mm-hmm. But it's very healable, everything is.
So regular meditation would not necessarily be the way.
Right.
When I work with people, I go back prior to the event and then have them explain exactly what happened in their life, exactly what was going on. And almost every single time there's something that was going on and some kind of life decision was made or reaction. So, you know.
And I was just saying, is your experience, could there also possibility be they're bringing it in with them, like it's in the family, like ancestral stuff, or is it usually connected to a decision that they're making?
No, you're quite right. There can be genetic or ancestral tendencies, tendencies towards weakness. Like, for example, my mother absolutely loved sugar. And I inherited that tendency to be addicted to sugar.
So did 99% of the population.
Yeah, but not like my mother.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's a very funny example. But I think Kate gets
well, I mean, I loved it when I was, you know, I mean, so anyway, but yeah, definitely. And so definitely there is karmic, genetic, ancestral lines, but they're still all just tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not to like make light of any chronic illness. And the clarification of the psychological emotional factors is not, you know, may not be enough in itself. But the other thing is, in my work with health issues, is the number one problem is the root chakra is weak. The root chakra in its connection to the earth is very weak. And that is what enables the chronic health condition to stay chronic, because there's simply not enough life force in the system. So that's one of the things I address, is I look at the chakras and especially the first and third, because they're the most important in terms of health. So, you know, I'm planning on, you know, writing a book or whatever someday. I just haven't had the time, you know, about this stuff. But yeah, I definitely, you know, if you have a way of, you know, anybody who is dealing with health issues, start looking at your root chakra, start working with your root chakra. That's the key to your health for everybody. Anybody who's really healthy, you know, whatever their, you know, personal, you know, some people are super energetic, others aren't, but they're both healthy. Okay. They've got a healthy, strong root chakra. Okay. That's working in, say, at 75, 80, 90% efficiency, you know, not 30 or 40. If you're 30 or 40, you're in trouble. So you've got to have that life force coming up from the earth, going into the root chakra. And I teach people how to do that, how to absorb the earth energy. You know, and there's various teachings on how to do this, and you can figure it out for yourself. But, you know, I just have a particular way that I developed. But yeah, the root chakra is the key to health. I think that would be a takeaway for everybody.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your question. I know it applies to a lot of people.
If I may quickly say something about, you know, when there is any form of suffering or pain or guilt or physical suffering, another reminder could be also, this was I willing to experience out of pure love. Also, this was I willing to experience out of love. It's like, you know, you have the example which seems like strange, and I've never heard or read anything about it, but like For example, we have the example of Jesus. He's constantly reminding his Father of things. Like, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they do. It's like as if the Father doesn't know those things. No, but he doesn't know unless we remind him, because he's experiencing being us now. The source is experiencing being us. I mean, and unless we remind the source of how things really are, the source won't know it, not in this situation. So these two things, on the one hand, be still and know I'm God. And if there is suffering, and that can also be used when there's joy. Okay, also this was I willing to experience out of pure love.
Thank you very much. That's brilliant.
All right.
Okay, anybody else? Question from someone else.
Paul has his hand raised again. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, hi again. The discussion about pain and imperfection and perfection and accepting it all, I love it, because I've worked out over the last few years. I'm clairsentient. I mean, I live people's pain. I can actually resolve issues. I can sit. But in terms of my own process, if we want to call it that, when I meditate or when I get into this kind of, limited thought-free state, my thoughts play out through the body. So there's not a visual, I can't see, but so for instance, it's like I'm looking for the source of something, and then I'll get a really little contraction in the heart on the right. It's like, okay. And then, I will, when that shifts, I know I've come out of it and I can come back down into it. But what I find is that sometimes when I'm in this, the thoughts come and I don't have this opportunity to see them as such, because I'm already playing it out through the body. And I'm trying to work out how to see it in my way so that I can actually have more time with it, rather than I constrict. The body then constricts with that thought. And so I'm in it. It's like 100% awareness of that thought. And then he's like, but I'm not aware enough to be able to watch the body as it arises and then see and learn something more about it. Do you understand what I mean?
Well, yeah, let me give you a practical piece of advice, okay? The awakened state is, let's keep in mind that the awakened state is basically similar to the cat or dog that you have in your house or somebody else's house. Because basically what it means, what being awakened means, is you are living as the body, living as the physical body, here and now, in the sensory present, which means what life consists of is the senses interacting with the sense objects. Okay?
Yeah.
There's nothing to figure out. There's nothing to do. And so what my recommendation to you is, allow the body to handle it. So if it's already gone to the body and it's already happening in the body, then just be the body. Don't be the thoughts, emotions, watching, any of that. I mean, do that too if that's working for you. But when it's in the body, just be the body.
Okay.
Just be the body sensation. The body can process anything and everything. And one thing that I know, I'm just going to go back for a moment. One thing I noticed with people with chronic disease is they're not in their body. They're in their pain thought about their body. They're not actually inhabiting their body. I don't think I've met a person with such a problem, a health problem, who struck me as being really totally inhabiting their body, in their body, not any time about just being, joyfully alive kind of thing, but just really in their body and, really committed to being in their body. They're out of their body. And that's the reason it has happened. The body was left on its own. What we're talking about with you in terms of meditation is you are in your body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're frozen.
If you guys can hear us still, if you can just turn your video off briefly. Ramaji and Ananda, if you can hear me.
The head is actually part of the body. It's a better way to think. They're frozen.
Now they're not frozen anymore.
Yeah.
You're unfrozen now.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I mean,
That's okay.
I think we're running a little bit over time today.
Right.
I don't know if Kate minds. We don't. If there's anything else you guys want to ask, now is a good time because it's the last one.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
And thank you, Paul. Yeah. And if not, then we'll give you guys the 20-minute rasa, and we just and that's it. So anyone else, Kate? Anything else?
There was a question about interpersonal relationship.
Oh, we love that.
Healing, bringing awareness to, or healing to interpersonal relationship.
Was that the whole question?
That was the whole question.
Well, it's
kind of broad, but
yeah, that's the broadest question I've ever
just
heard.
interpersonal relationship
Yes.
healing. My sense is that because we were talking about personal healing and about perhaps in mutuality or in your relationship. You can do that in a couple minutes.
More difficult or challenging than relationships.
It's a good way to wake up.
It's a damn good way to wake up.
It sure is.
If you're ready for it. You know, I used to counsel men in a men's group, and none of them wanted a relationship. And I said, why? They said, because I can't be in it. I even if I meditate an hour a day, it's too much. Because she wants me to be thinking and talking and doing and this and that and the other thing. And I need to isolate in my man cave. And so if you're going to be in a relationship, it's very helpful to see it as spiritual sadhana. That, from a tantric perspective, and we both have a tantric perspective, you can regard the other as Shiva or Shakti. And thus, it is the divine play, what's going on. And there's Socrates. I love this story. So since Ananda's not piping in with anything, I will go ahead and continue talking and say Socrates had a wife named Xantippe, and she was known to be the absolutely worst bitch in all of Athens. Just had the most foulest mouth, was the most critical, and so on and so forth. And so finally his students said to Socrates, dude, what's going on, man? You've got this woman is the worst woman in all of Athens. And he laughs and he goes, you guys don't get it. That woman is able to find every single thing that is a flaw in me. She is able to dig out and expose every single blind spot that I have. She is worth her weight in gold. So if you have that kind of attitude, then relationships are going to be awesome. Because that's what they do. We are a mirror for each other.
Always.
Especially for the things we have trouble seeing or looking at. And, and of course, they're a great adventure if you really want to commit to it and really do it.
And it entails a ton of vulnerability. Really, when you learn to love yourself, you will learn to love another. And until then, the idea that you understand love is it's another concept. You have to feel it.
Yeah,
you have to be it.
Yeah, it's living love.
You have to live love, exactly.
Yeah, but it's a great. I mean, we could do a whole series just on that, to be honest. And that might be a good idea, actually.
We actually teach Tantra as well.
Yeah, I mean, that actually might be a good idea.
Very tantric, we just, because we like to be ourselves regardless. So.
And the tantric thing, this is a huge confusion. The tantric thing is only a small part of it ultimately is about sex. Most of it's actually about emotion. Tantra is actually about feeling. So
when you're not a thinking person anymore, you're left to feeling, an open window of feeling from moment to moment, second to second. What am I feeling? What am I feeling?
The dance of life.
What am I feeling?
The dance of life. So yeah, that's what relationship is about, the dance of life with another person. And
I think that's beautiful, and I think that that will be your next series, perhaps. People are already asking. And I think people
with some tantric stuff. I don't think they'll ever be the same.
We need it. We need a little shaking up.
We'll move into some.
Yeah, we'll
Rasa
discuss
now.
with you what's appropriate to talk about and what isn't. We love to.
Don't unleash us.
We love to really rock that one. Yeah. Okay, that's a great idea. Okay, so I guess we're ready to do Rasa. Right?
Yes. I'm sure everyone's got better things to do at this point. Okay.
Great. I just want to make one announcement that we have meetings with teachers every Sunday, 10 to 12, and Aisha Salem is going to be with us, who is very much a tantric embodied
Good segue.
diva. Thank you. So stay tuned for that, and I'm sure we'll be having Ananda and Ramaji back, and thank you all, and thank you both.
Thank you, Kate, for everything, truly.
Yeah, my
and
pleasure.
We always have, we highly recommend all the teachers that Kate has on Open Circle are fantastic, and you guys should just really go for it. Everyone has a lot to offer. It's a fantastic movement, Open Circle. Good people, good work, good teachers. Okay, so let's do this.
Well, I'm going to go use the restroom.
Oh, okay. If anybody needs to use the restroom.
If anybody needs to follow suit, this is the time.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea.
Okay, so you're all set?
Let me turn the music on.
Okay, but I'm going to just say we're going to start.
Oh.
Okay, so now we're going to start the Rasa. It's 20 minutes in silence, eyes closed. Just be relaxed and receptive, like you're getting a massage or a suntan on the beach. And we'll let you know when the 20 minutes is up, and then you can continue to sit or lie down quietly for a while. And also remember that you have access, you can watch the recording on Vimeo and continue to enjoy the Rasa at the end. You will still get benefit from the recording. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's the rasa. So go ahead and sit quietly for a while. Listen to the recording, get more rasa. Thank you so much. It's a joint effort. We need you to do this. You are the group, and you are the resonance and synchronicity and fusion and union that makes this possible. We are bringing it, but you are really helping us to bring it to each other. So thanks to Open Circle, thanks to Kate, and we just really appreciate this opportunity to do this. And thank you for all of your wonderful feedback and just the fact that you're here. We really appreciate that.
Thank you both. And I did just briefly invite folks to go into gallery mode if they like, so they can see everybody on the call if they haven't done that yet, just to see whom you've been with. And thank you all again. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks, Kate.
If folks want to unmute themselves, they can go ahead and do that and just say their goodbyes. Or
thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Not really, though, but bye.
thank you.
We love you.
You don't get away from us that easily. We'll hunt you down.
All right, everyone. Until next time, be well.
Be well. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.